Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Airport CEO, and welcome back to Belfast International Airport. I hope you're having a good one. I do. I hope you're having a good one because I'm excited to be back. Things are kind of going pretty well here, which is really great to be able to say about this airport. I know it's a little slow getting off the ground, but I'm kind of wanting to take my time with this. I'm wanting to have some fun with this. I'm wanting to experiment with this a little bit and just see what we can do. So today, we need to dabble in some baggage security, which is where I want to get started. I've talked before about building another runway, and I have some ideas for what we can potentially do about that runway. I'm also not sure why this guy is not connected to a service car stop. I might have forgot to do that at some point, so we'll just get that going and make sure that that is up and running now as another remote stand. We can talk a little bit about runways a little bit later on because I have a couple of theories about what we can do to improve the situation around the airport and also make things expandable. And one of those theories involves the general aviation aircraft. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but for now, let's focus on baggage security because that's what we need to do for the rest of the introduction. Now, the good news is that baggage security tier 1 is already researched. So we're going to go in with tier 2 pretty much immediately because I'd like to get my hands on that as quickly as we possibly can so that we can go ahead and get a pretty decent baggage security setup. We also got the belt loaders. We might want to research a couple of other things. We might want to get some belt loaders as well. I think I'm going to research helipads. Not that we're necessarily going to play with those today, but I'm getting to the point where I have some ideas for what we can do with those. And I think we're going to get advanced runway lighting. I think that's like the only other thing that we haven't got that we probably should have by now. We have everybody doing some research, which is great. So let's take a look at baggage security and how we're going to do that. Now, what I'd like to do is build a little facility that's above ground. I'm looking at this space here, and I'm thinking this is going to be a good spot for it. So what I'd like to do is go into my terminal, and I'm just going to build something that is 12 by 3. That seems like probably more than enough space for what I'd like to do. And then I'm going to come down here, take out this specific chair, and I'm basically going to do what we did on the other side. We're going to have a little space that staff can go through to get out to this building to manage our baggage security. So we're going to need some sidewalks right there. We're going to need to go in with some medium-sized doors right there and right there. And we're probably going to have some kind of staff facility in here as well. So I think what we can get away with is maybe, let's see, we'll do a little 2-tile wide corridor that goes up this way. We'll bring it over about this far. We'll have a little corridor down here as well. And then we'll split this into, let's go for something like this. In fact, let's do the door for this one down at the bottom so they have to go right down there. This is going to be a bathroom. This right here, I think, is going to be a staff room. So we'll put a little wall right there as well. And we can immediately go in here and get this set up as 2 things. Number 1 is going to be a staff zone across the entirety of the building. Number 2 is going to be a secure zone across the entirety of the building. And then I guess we can go in and say that this is a staff room and this is a bathroom. And so I guess with this done, let's get the basics out of the way. We'll go in with some cubicles right there. We'll go in with some sinks maybe down here, since that kind of makes sense. And then for the staff room itself, let's just go in with, I guess, a couple of office desks up here at the top, and then maybe a little couch down here at the bottom of the room. So something like that's relatively simple, but that's going to be more than enough for what we need to do. The only thing I'd like to do before we wrap up this basic construction is go in here with some tiles. Just a little something like that. We'll do the orange carpet for the staff room, and we'll do the white tiles for the bathroom, getting that thing open and set to staff only. So this is basically going to be our baggage security space. It's going to be relatively simple to begin with because we do have to research baggage security tier 2. But what I would like to do is go in here and get the basic baggage scanner. And this guy's going to live, I want to say, ooh, where do I want to put this? I want to put the basic baggage scanner right about there. We're going to have a little bit of room in here to play with. So right about there is fine. And then I want to put the baggage destroyer all the way up there. And basically the way this works, for those of you that don't know baggage handling in For some reason, I wanted to say City Skylines there. In Airport CEO, the way it works is really, really simple. You basically, what we're going to have to do is put a cut into our conveyor belt. So all of our bags are coming from the self bag drop right here, the check-in desks and the check-in desks. They go onto this conveyor belt. We're going to put a cut in here, and we're going to bring these bags over. We're going to run them into the baggage scanner, and anything that's okay is going to continue on. It's going to go back underground. It's going to circle back around and join this line. So anything that's okay to be loaded onto a plane is going to be loaded onto a plane. Anything that isn't is going to go to the cargo annihilator right up here. So what we can do is go in with some conveyor belts, and very, very simply, we're going to do something like this for the bad bags. And we're going to do something like this for the good bags. We will have them go underground right there. And then I guess for the bags coming up here, we're going to need an escalator going up. So let's go for right about there. Seems like a great spot for it. We'll get some regular conveyor belts and just connect it like this. So that's our setup. That is our very, very basic setup. This is going to be super easy to cut into and expand once we get the different tiers of baggage security. But what we're going to need to do is basically put just a single little cut on this conveyor belt over here on the left. So a cut right there is going to be perfect. We want to bring our high-speed belts over this way. And then this guy is just going to loop up like this and go straight back like that. So we're just going to put this entire baggage security thing right on the line. It's going to stop, or at least slow down, the amount of bad cargo getting loaded onto our planes. And that's what we're looking for. That's basic baggage security. Now, the tier 2 stuff, to be fair and to be clear, is basically a bunch of additional scanners. We've played with this before. We've obviously done a lot of baggage security stuff in the past with this game. The tier 2 scanners are going to be put on this line up here. Well, they'll probably have their own space in here, but the idea is that anything rejected by the basic scanner. Oh, wow. We've reached the final step of the airport. We have to get large stands and all that stuff. We're not going to be doing that yet. But basically what happens is anything that this guy rejects will go through an additional set of scanners. If one of those flags it as a problem, it goes to the annihilator. If they all flag it as okay, it gets loaded back out here and goes back out to the planes. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to see how that goes, and we're going to see if that's something we can do. But this is our baggage security. This is the entire baggage security setup. I would like to get some windows in here because I think that'd be kind of cool. So a window right there seems great, and a window right down there seems like a great addition. I might be tempted to put some large windows in here as well. I think that could be kind of fun. I don't know if it's really necessary, but I don't see why not. We might as well open the place up a little bit and let people kind of see out a little. I suppose that's that's totally fine. Get a window there as well, and that'll be fine. Do I want to put like anything around? Do I want to decorate around this? I kind of do. I'm not sure why I want to decorate around this, but I kind of want to do like a 3-tile sidewalk that sort of goes the entire way around like that. And then I kind of want to go in with some hedges that run the entire way around the building like that. Not really sure why I want to do this. It doesn't really serve any purpose and no one's ever going to use it, but I'm kind of okay with it. And I think it's going to look kind of neat, you know? It's going to be a little bit different. It's just a little decorative space. And I guess at some point we could put, I don't know, maybe a door down here. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we have like a door that goes direct into the security space. I don't know if that's necessary, but it might look cool. We might have people walking around. There's literally no reason to do this, but sure, we have decorations out here on the air side of the airport now, I guess. Anyway, while we wait for our baggage security tier 2 research to be done, what I think I'm going to do is go in and take out these small stands, these general aviation stands. In fact, I think the easiest thing to do is probably just turn them off for now to experiment with things a little bit. And I don't think I can turn any of them off because I think all of the planes are within the airport, or at least on their way to the airport, which is kind of a symptom of the problem that I have with these stands. What we're going to notice, and I'm not necessarily going to sit here and stare at this the entire time, but what I've noticed in the now 6 episodes of this series so far is that these stands routinely are just way behind. What happens is I'm sitting here trying to turn them off, or I'm trying to do something like dismiss the plane, and the plane isn't even here. The plane is nowhere to be seen, but it constantly tells me you can't do that when the assigned aircraft is at the airport. That's because the aircraft essentially is, we can say it's circling the airport. It's waiting to land. So that tells me that the one runway that we have is obviously not that efficient. But if that's a problem that we're having with general aviation, I don't know if this game prioritizes commercial aircraft. So that's going to be part of the reason that we're seeing delays with our commercial aircraft. So my theory is that I can maybe just get rid of general aviation, and we can maybe just have things be a little bit more fluid with the one runway that we have. Because my other idea is that we go in here, we demolish this runway and replace it with a small runway, the way we had originally. And then we put a large runway up here at the top, and we say that no small planes can use the large runway. And I don't know if that's a good idea. I really have no idea. Maybe we just say that, small planes can use it, but general aviation can't. I haven't really worked it out. I don't know. I mean, if we put a runway up here, we're not going to have general aviation anyway, because it's not going to fit. We'd have to move the air traffic control tower and the hangar as well. There's a lot of stuff we would have to do to make this work. But I'd like to point out that while I've been sitting ranting about all of this, none of the general aviation aircraft that are apparently taking up these stands, apparently I can close that one at least. Other than that one, none of them are at the airport, despite the fact that it's still telling me that they're at the airport. So we have some serious delays that we seriously need to do something about. Anyway, these guys are all closed now. It took a little while to get them all sorted out, but we'll see what happens with the rest of our aircraft. We'll see if they get moving on the runway a little bit better. And if they don't, then realistically, what I think I'm going to have to do is just build a second runway. I do think I'm probably going to want to move the medium runway to the top. So all of these stands will have to go. The air traffic control towers, I'm not moving it over here anymore. I was going to, I still technically sort of could, and we could save up enough money to buy some more tiles, but I don't think we're at that point. I think the better thing to do is waste an absolute ton of money by moving the medium runway up to the top, and maybe we just build a second medium runway. Maybe we don't need to get rid of this one. But then the problem is, well, I don't know. I don't know. I think I want a small runway. I would like to see if that's a thing we can do. Anyway, the good news is we now have our second tier of baggage security, which includes an organics scanner, a gun scanner, an explosive scanner, a drug scanner, and a money scanner. So what I want to do with these guys is basically put them in here. So we're going to do the organics scanner right there. We're going to do the guns scanner right there. We're going to do the explosive scanner right there. I really wish the screen would stop flashing every time I click on one of these. That's really, really annoying. And we just have to go in here and change up this layout a little bit. So these guys are all going to connect up to that conveyor belt. This guy's going to connect over to these guys. And then this is going to come over and down like that. And that's now going to be a second tier of baggage security. I'd also like to go in here and just paint these guys to be all red, because I think that looks kind of cool against the sort of light blue floor. It's just a little something that I want to do in there. This shouldn't take too long to put together though, which is great. They're already coming through and getting this whole thing sorted out, which is absolutely perfect. And immediately you can kind of see what's going on. So something gets flagged by this guy. It goes through the rest of these scanners. If any one of these guys detect something, it goes to the cargo annihilator. If everything's okay in all of these scanners, it goes back onto the main conveyor belt and it goes out to the plane. And in theory, this should be fine. This should be a perfectly okay layout for baggage security. Now we can go in and we can get tier 3, which is going to give us a scanning station that we have to have a security officer manning, but honestly, I'm okay with that. Not really too worried about it. We'll go ahead and take everybody off these other projects and make sure that this thing gets done. And I guess we should either figure out this runway situation, or we should figure out helicopters, because we did just start playing around with those. So do I want to build is it too early to try and build like another what is essentially going to be another terminal for helicopters. Because I really like the idea of building like a little helicopter terminal. I really, really do. Even if it's just a tiny little thing down here, I really like the idea of building like a little helicopter terminal thing. And I think I'm gonna. I don't know how busy it's necessarily gonna be, but I think I'm gonna try and build myself a little helicopter thing here. So let's make some slight changes. I genuinely was not planning on doing this today. This was going to be like a next episode kind of thing, but I'm kind of excited about this. So we're just going to do it now. What I'd like to do is move my security checkpoint. I think that's important. And I want to move these bits of road. This is going to mess with the flow of vehicles into the back of the airport for a minute here, but that's okay. I just want to move it so it's on this road instead of this one, so I can have this service road go straight down to where my helicopter is going to be. And I guess this is another way that we're going to make money. And this is something that we're not necessarily going to have to worry about too much, because once the helicopter terminal is up and going, I mean, yes, we can get large helicopters eventually, but for now, I'm not super concerned about that. And so this is going to be our little road layout for the for security now. We can bring this fence through here. I think we'll bring a fence kind of around like that, since it makes sense. I guess a little fence right here kind of makes sense as well. And I'm not too sure if I want to do fences around all of this. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I guess we'll do something like that just to sort of enclose that entire space, which I guess is fine. And then we can bring a fence down here at some point once we figure out what we're doing with the helicopter terminal. So it probably doesn't need to be too big, right? That's probably one thing that we can agree on with a helicopter terminal. So let's go for 3x3, 3x5. Let's do 3x8, I guess. I don't imagine security is going to have to be all that massive here. I would imagine it can be quite simple. So we'll do like a 3x8 right there. And then I want to see how big these helicopter stands are. So it's 30,000 for one of these guys. They're pretty chunky. Interesting. My thinking for this was we would have just sort of a, I don't know what the word is. I can't remember. It's a concourse. Just going straight down the middle here with like helicopters here, 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 and here, here, and here. Basically 6 of those. We kind of have this extra little space here, which is where I wanted to put some roads if I needed to. I probably don't need to, so this might end up being like our security space. But long story short, I was going to do this, and that's essentially going to be the helicopter terminal. Basically, that's about all I think it needs to be. So let's bring some actual paved service roads through here. I think it's about time that we do this. And this guy might update eventually. That'll be fine. We'll pave this guy. We can pave out to there, and we can pave out to there. And I think this will be okay. I think this will be good. This will be like a nice little, we've got like no space in here, but how many people are getting on helicopters, you know? That's my thinking anyway. I don't imagine there's going to be that many. So this will probably be fine. We've got a little bit of extra space down here that we can build into. That'll be good for like a bathroom or something. So that's perfect. It is certainly a shape that I've built here, but you know what? That's probably fine. It's, we're not going to worry too much about, why have I got a helicopter overhead already? What the, hello? Wait, what? Is that a general aviation flight? I think we've just accepted a general aviation helicopter. Interesting. Yeah, so we've just accepted a GA helicopter. I don't know if we fuel. I think, okay, yeah, we just use the, okay. We're using avgas. That's fine, I guess. All right. That was sudden. Was not expecting these helicopters to be here that quickly, but sure. I guess we'll deal with that. All right. Let's do some medium doors in fact, you know what? Let's just do a large door right here to open out into the concourse. That'll be fine. Let me take out this wall because we don't need it. And let me take out this wall because we don't need it right now either. What I'd like to figure out is exactly how we're going to do this, because I really don't think helicopter check-in and all that stuff is going to be that busy because we're probably not doing medium helicopters for a really long time. So I don't know if they need baggage handling. Do they need baggage handling? I really hope they're gonna need baggage handling. I didn't think about that. Okay, let's set you to commercial. Okay, assigned aircraft exists. So, oh boy, yeah, you do need okay. Okay. I didn't think about that, did I? Right, how many helicopters can there possibly be? There's not gonna be that many, right? So let's do, I don't know. Do we want to just do self check-in for helicopters? I think like a medium check-in desk is probably fine, right? That's probably like two medium check-in desks is probably more than enough for a helicopter terminal. So let's do 1 and 2, just right there, sort of front and center. We can do conveyor belts. Man, this is gonna be a whole thing. We'll do some conveyor belts like this. And then I guess we're just going to sort of enclose our little sort of check-in space is what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be surrounded like this. We can get some doors on the sides so staff can come through, and we'll make sure that this is set as a staff area, which is totally fine. All of this is going to be secure because that obviously makes sense. And then my thinking is security is gonna be like down here and the exit is gonna be like up here. So everyone's kind of flowing through this same space here in the middle. I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think it's the end of the world. And I guess in terms of security, we really don't need it to be super in depth. We can do like 2 of these guys, and I think that'll be totally fine. So we're gonna set, I guess, all of this as a secure space. And we're gonna say that this and this will be our security entrance to the area. And for the exit, we can go over here and do a little something like this. So it kind of loops around and that'll be fine. So same thing down here. We want to go to about that spot and that'll be okay. Yeah, we're not going to go crazy with this. The helicopters, like I said, how many people could possibly want to use helicopters? That feels like famous last words. And I was a really big My Chemical Romance fan back in the day. So if I know anything about famous last words, if I know it, I know a thing or two about famous last words is the sentence I was looking for there. If you don't know, there's My Chemical Romance have a song from the Black Parade called Famous Last Words. It was the last song on the album, except for the bonus track. It's a whole thing. It really doesn't matter. Let's do, it's not even a deep cut really. Let's take one layer off of this so we can just bring it back a little bit. And then we'll put our security exit right about there. In fact, do I want to just put it here so they just leave the terminal? I think I do. I think I'm going to keep it there, but then just bring this down and have them just leave. So you go through, so you just leave. Like, you're not going back into the check-in space. You've got no reason to do that. We can do, I don't know, maybe a little bathroom down here. So just a teeny tiny little bathroom. We can do some doors here for, like, you know, go around to security, do your thing. And then, yeah, this will be just a teeny tiny little bathroom. It really doesn't need to be a big bathroom, does it? It's not going to have that many people going through here. Again, possibly famous last words, but sure, that'll be a bathroom. That looks great. This is the way out. That looks great. This is our check-in space. It'll eventually look great. This is a whole lot of wasted space. That doesn't look great, but you know what? It's fine. Let's do some seating in here just to, I don't know how they're getting onto these helicopters. It's going to have to be like self-boarding, isn't it? It's going to be self-boarding. I'm doing the lazy option, but we're going to do self-boarding. That's totally fine. Let's go for, boarding desks, self-boarding gate. I want to say there. That, you know what, we're just going to do them on that same side across the board so they can just line up to get in the helicopters, and that'll be great. That looks fine. In fact, it would probably make more sense to put it on the other side of those doors so that the people getting off the helicopters don't have to like go around the boarding gates. Again, that looks fine. Let's do a little bit of decoration here with some plants, and then let's get this whole thing built. So I will say the good news about our entire underground system for baggage handling is that I can just run this conveyor belt up to here And that connects all of our helicopter check-in stuff to the existing setup. The only problem is that despite the lovely color scheme that I've gone for, I may have forgotten about the fact that we need to have some way for people to collect their bags, which understandably they will be kind of upset if they can't do that. I don't quite know how I'm going to make that happen yet. I really don't want to have to build like a little extension onto the side of this, but I kind of get the feeling I might need to. And I'm also realizing that for a third bag, collection space, I need another baggage bay. Oh, that's a pain. I mean, it's easy, right? We just copy and paste what we've done here. We just put in more splitters. That's really annoying. I really wish you could connect a baggage bay to more than one baggage claim area. It's just not a thing you can do, unfortunately. Who are you? Are you staff? You're an employee. Okay. This is the layout that we've gone for, by the way. I've changed some colors around to kind of make it fancy. Man, I'm a little disappointed that I'm gonna need another baggage bay. That's got me feeling a sort of way about this whole thing. This project, I'm loving this. I love the idea of having the helicopters out here, but I'm just a little frustrated. Okay, how do we want to do, I guess we're gonna need, okay, first off, we're gonna need another baggage bay. There's no getting around it. No ifs, ands, or buts. We need another one of these guys. So can I copy and paste all of that? I can copy and paste no, okay. Let's just do this and another 7x7 space. And we're just gonna build this again. We're gonna need more employees, gonna need more everything, but that's fine. Let's do our service roads that come up here as they usually do. And let's just grab a baggage bay pretty much right away, I guess. It's really frustrating that I have to do this, but sure, it's fine. All right, so the way I'm figuring this is gonna work is, like I said, we're just gonna put another tilt tray right here, and that's gonna split off to this third baggage bay, which is fine. We're gonna have the incoming baggage sort of come out of here. It's gonna go underneath this conveyor belt. It's gonna match up with this one, which is what we've done down here as well. That's all gonna come down. It's gonna pass by the 2 tilt trays, because we're gonna put a new tilt tray right here. And then it dips underground underneath the outbound baggage. And it's gonna come back up over on this side. So we wanna go underground again. We want to connect these guys together. We're bringing this back up, and it's probably gonna make more sense to actually bring it underneath this part as well. But I'll do that when I figure out where exactly we're gonna build this little baggage claim extension, which I guess is gonna be right here. Let's just do like a little 3x3 thing right in front of that, right in front of the parking lot. Seems totally fine. We can do a nice sort of large door here. We can do a nice large door here. So you can kind of, go straight in there and get your bags if you want to. And that should be fine. That should be about all we need for this. We can do some regular conveyor belts. We could just do like a square in the middle if I really wanted to. I think what I'm gonna do is give it sort of a little pattern here, just so it looks a little bit more interesting. Is that the right way? No, it goes that way. So it's gonna come out that way and go like that. And then somehow I need to bring, that's gonna work really badly with, oh man. I did not think this through. I did not think, you know what I like? I like squares. We're just gonna do a square, because that's gonna work so much better. And then what we'll do is we'll get ourselves just like a wall for the middle here. In fact, I want to take that bit of wall out. I want to take all of that out. And I want to do a bit of, I want a conveyor belt that comes up. So I want this one, and I want to put it, say, there. And then I want to have the conveyor belt sort of come down. And then I'm just going to surround this in hedges. So we're just going to do this sort of thing to kind of enclose that. That'll be our baggage claim area. We can go in here and set this. That's not what I wanted. I want to go to baggage claim area. That's our baggage claim area. That's great. We can go and get some little seats for around here so people can kind of sit and wait for their bags to come out, which seems lovely. I guess they can, seats don't really go central to this. This thing is not central in that room. I've just noticed that it's off center, and that's really, really bothering me. So I'm going to just fix that really quickly, because otherwise it's really going to continue to annoy me. So we're going to do that is what we're going to do. In fact, we're not going to do that. We're going to change it up even further. We're going to take out that hedge. We're going to put hedges there, and we're going to have the bags come up from underground, and they're going to turn is what they're going to do. All fancy like. That seems fine. That seems like a good baggage claim area. And then all I need to do is connect everything together the way we always have to, and everything should be good. Okay, so now that all this is connected, I think this looks okay. I would like to check though to see if we have any contracts from helicopters, and we do, which is very interesting. So let's grab those 2 contracts from the helicopter companies and see how that goes. Because what we can do now is switch these guys all over to commercial stands, which, well, the helicopters have to be out of the airport before I can do that, but that's fine. We can just dismiss all of them and get them out of here nice and quickly so that they don't overstay their welcome. So switch those over to commercial, which apparently I can't do there. Can't do there either. Interesting. We can switch them over now though. And then I want to shift click on all of these. That is not quite what I was looking for. Shift click on all of these. We want to connect a baggage bay, and we are going to connect all of them to this guy, switch that on, and then we're going to say 4 ramp agents per side. And we're also going to go in here and just change out the floor of this place, because I'm thinking I want to go for, it would be ridiculous to put marble in what's essentially just a giant warehouse, wouldn't it? I feel like we'll just go for the light concrete in all of these spaces, because it's got like a little bit of a warm tone to it, so it's a little different looking. We'll just sort of do that for those spaces, and that should be fine. Let's also go in and hire some ramp agents. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hopefully that's going to help us out. We do have ramp agents up here already, which is great. And then looking down here, what are you guys complaining about? No boarding desk connected, no security thing connected. Is it because this needs to be connected to the stand? Does that solve the issue? It looks like it does. So that's hopefully going to mean once these guys are all connected that we start getting commercial helicopters in here, which I don't know about you, but I'm kind of excited to have this up and going. I'm hoping for good things. I'm hoping for good money. We don't have a lot of money left, so this will be really interesting to see if it does anything. We have got 6 small helicopter stands. We can have up to 200 flights, which is great. We have an emergency coming through, which is less great. Let's put it on this stand right here and hope that this Fly Penguin flight can kind of just deal with a bit of a delay, I guess. And I'm also really hoping, you know what? Let me get more ramp agents. And also let me get more passenger service agents, because with this not being a separate terminal, they might end up running from one terminal to the other. Same with security. Let's get a few more of you guys just to make sure everything's okay. And let's check the flight planner. We do not. We do not have helicopters being offered to us just yet. I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure it'll happen eventually. And you know, while we're waiting for those helicopters, let's get the scanning station. Scanning station. We're gonna put this thing in here is what we're gonna do, because obviously it's sort of needed. I think the way we can make this work though is by basically putting it here, I want to say. So anything goes through this, it goes back out of that seems like a fair enough spot for it. Or even just right there could also equally work if we just move the annihilator down a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know if it matters where this thing goes, to be quite honest with you. I really, really don't. Let's do a little bit of demolition though. We're going to take out all of this. We're going to move the annihilator as well. That's a very loud plane. But that makes sense. We'll get this guy, and yeah, we'll just figure out where it's going to go. It really doesn't matter too much where this thing is, as long as it's got someone working at it. So I want to say right here is probably a decent enough spot for it. So right about there, we can bring some conveyor belts kind of around. So like that. So there, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on a minute. So anything that gets flagged by you goes to that scanner. That's fine. That scanner needs to move a little bit. I've got it a little bit too close to everything else because what I want to do is anything that's okay here is going to come out and down. And then anything that's not okay from these guys goes into the manual scanner, which is going to be here. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. And then the cargo annihilator can just be tacked onto the side of it, which is totally fine. So bring this over, bring that down. Cargo annihilator is going to live right there. We could even move it up a little bit if we wanted to, which I think I will just for a bit of fun. And that right about there is our security setup. And I'm kind of okay with it. Let's make sure everything's painted a nice sort of shade of red right there. And that'll be good. So basically what happens is there are 3 steps that have to be taken before anything gets destroyed. So step number 1 is this thing flags something that it doesn't want. Step number 2 is that any one of these guys flags something that it doesn't approve of. And then step number 3 is someone manually checks it and then sends it to be destroyed. So we could have 2 false positives from one of this guy and one of these guys. And then this person, which is a manual, it's a station where there's a security guard, is going to be like, nope, it's actually okay. Send it out of the plane. So that's a full security setup. I think that's the way you want to do it. And that seems good. I'm kind of happy about that. I would also like to check, do we have any? Oh, we do have helicopters coming in. Perfect. That's great. There's only 3 passengers as well. So it's going to be really, really small scale. Look at that. Look at that. And there they go. So they're coming through. They're heading down here. And they're going to be going into baggage claim. I don't know if they've got any bags. We do have a little baggage car coming down here, which, to be fair, that thing has a hell of a distance to cover. It also does. There's no ramp agents down here, I'm realizing. There's some ramp agent. There's a ramp agent right there. Yeah, we might. Without additional terminals, we're really going to want to go all in on staff, especially ramp agents. So let's hire a few more of those. But this is cool. We have helicopters now. We got a little person going through. Is that staff? That's an employee. Never mind. You know what? I don't even care. I'm just really, I'm really happy about this. I like that we got helicopters now. That's really cool to me. I have no idea. I mean, does this one even have anyone on board? It seemed like it did. I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone going out in those helicopters, but you know what? Oh, there we go. There's so many people coming and going. And we get baggage claim now. That's great. They're going to be waiting for a while because that little baggage car has such a distance to cover. Can we maybe assign, like, could I go and buy maybe 6 of these guys? So the small pull force baggage cars, and then assign them to the helicopter stands? That might not be a terrible idea. So they're dedicated. They're down here. They're nicely out of the way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So then I go to my own vehicles. We want to look for these guys. We want to get the little trucks that only have the 1 seat on them. And I can't assign them? Oh no. Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Well, I was really hoping I could do that, but apparently not. Okay. But I can assign them to regular aircraft stands. That's strange. I do have 6 of them though, so I guess I'm just going to assign them to the small aircraft stands because we happen to have 6 of those as well. And that'll be totally fine. So I guess now that this is all up and running, we kind of just need to decorate this space a little bit out here and figure out what exactly we can do. We're not going to be able to do restaurants. We're not going to be able to do shops. We can kind of really only do vending machines, which really don't feel, they don't really have the premium vibe that I was hoping for my for my helicopters, but sure, we'll do some vending machines, I guess is what we'll do. So wait, which one's food and which one's, hold on a minute. So the drinks vending machine is that one. The foods vending machine is, okay. So the foods one gets changed to yellow because obviously Tato, and sure, that's about all we can do. We can do, I guess, maybe some couches here and here. just to sort of give people somewhere to sit. Maybe a couple of couches there as well, again, just to give people somewhere to sit. I'm not really too concerned about having a whole ton of seating in here because I just don't think it's necessary. Although I do want them to be nice, sort of dark couches. It kind of has that premium vibe when you've got all like the nice wood and the warm tones and then maybe dark sort of leather seating and stuff like that. It just has a good look about it, and it's something that I appreciate. I think we can also go in with maybe some plants, maybe like a nice sort of fern down in the corner. Seems like a great addition. Maybe a little fern down in that corner as well. And I think that's about as premium as this space is going to get. We could obviously go and build something in here, and I might do that at some point, maybe another bathroom or something. But I like this. I do, and we're making money as well. Between midnight and coming up on 6 a.m., we've done almost $70,000. We did $37,000 yesterday with $316,000 spent on construction. I got a little sidetracked. I think it's fair to say I got a little sidetracked. I was going to deal with this other runway issue, but we've done security, which is great. We've got this advanced security setup, and we have a separate terminal for helicopters, which I absolutely adore. If we look into R&D, we can start researching multiple terminal operations, which I think is going to be a really good thing to do because that's going to help us a little bit down the line. I would like to get medium helipads. Not that I think I'm going to do anything with that anytime soon, but I think we might as well grab it. And I think that's probably fine. I would like to check and see if we have any other contracts for other helicopter airlines. It doesn't look like we do. It might just be the two of them. Although maybe if we get the medium helicopters, we get other airlines that are interested. And I guess we could maybe do, well, we probably can't do remote stands in here without sort of changing this whole thing up a little bit, but maybe we can do 2 medium helicopter pads down here at the bottom. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I like this though. I like that we have this little space. I think it's really cool. I would like to do, just before we wrap things up, I'd like to come in here and do some fences around this, because I think it kind of makes sense that this would be kind of enclosed down here. I want to say that that's probably a thing that we would be interested in doing. And I guess we will bring this straight down to here as well. So that entire thing is nicely enclosed. I also like that it's, you know, it's sharing the vehicles from the rest of the airport. That might not be super efficient, but it's kind of cool. I like this a lot. I hope you do as well, because that's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.